Welcome to the scoring information for the Spirit International. Before we get started, I want to thank all the volunteers that will be volunteering your time to assist us in the scoring portion for the Spirit International. As you know by now, you will be a walking scorer that will provide hole-by-hole live scoring from the golf course. You will be assigned to walk with a group for 18 holes. You will keep track of the player's score on a provided form. Then you will use a wireless tablet to submit the scores for the player at the conclusion of each hole, and then you will transmit that information to our website. A couple things to make note of. Wear comfortable shoes. You will be walking 18 holes, so tennis shoes or golf shoes would be a great option, whatever is comfortable for you to walk the golf course in. Dress for the conditions of the day. As we all know in Texas, it can be very hot, cold, or even a little wet all in the course of the day. If it looks like it could rain, make sure to bring an umbrella or your rain gear. If you need reading glasses, make sure you bring them. You will be reading both a scorecard and a wireless device, so it's better to be safe than sorry, so make sure you bring those reading glasses. After you meet the players on the first tee, try not to speak to them until the round is over. I know it may seem a little over the top, but we want to keep the player distractions to a minimum. Of course, if they speak to you first, you can go ahead and talk to them. We just don't want to distract them while on the golf course. If you have a question on a player's score, you can go ahead and ask the player's caddy first, or even the walking official that's with your group. Everything that you do in regards to scoring for the player is unofficial. The official scores are being kept by the players. You are there for informational purposes to help us get scores online and on the leaderboard so everyone knows where they stand in the competition. Now this may come as a surprise to you, but we're actually going to encourage you to bring your cell phone. This is going to be your first line for help. We do ask, though, that you keep it set to vibrate or silent so that if it does ring, it does not disrupt play. You will only use it in case of problems or emergencies. If you do need to use it, please be mindful of the players around you. Voices carry very far and easily on a golf course. While you are talking on the phone, please keep track of what's going on in your group. You will receive a card with a phone number on it to call for assistance. This card will be very useful if you get into trouble or have any problems with the device. On your first assigned day, make sure you arrive and check in as instructed by the volunteer coordinators. You should have already received information on where to park and what to wear. If you cannot make your assigned time, please let the volunteer coordinators know so they can get someone else to fill your spot. Once you check in, you will receive final instructions and once again be shown how to operate the tablet. You'll also get the scoring tablet, scoring form, a pencil, and a tip card. It is important that you come only at your scheduled time, not any earlier or any later. We are going to check each person in during their scheduled time. That way there is less confusion. Then you can go ahead and proceed to your assigned tee at the scheduled time. Starting out, you will check in with the starter when it's your group's time to start. You will meet the players and their caddies. This is a great time to make note of something distinguishing about the player, especially since you'll have players from same countries playing together. Something like their hair color or just a distinctive feature that will help you identify which player is which. Once you've been introduced, you can go ahead and move away from the tee and remain as unobtrusive during the round as you can. It is a good idea to just hang out and observe the group just like you would if you were going to be in the gallery as a spectator. All right, okay, this is going to be what the form is going to look like when you get it at check-in. It's basically a letter-sized sheet on cardstock, and it has two halves to it. The top half is the first 9 holes you'll be playing, even if you're starting on number 10, and the bottom half will be the last 9 holes you'll be playing. So let's go ahead and take a look at the top half of the card by itself. You have your starting tee and time, and also your players indicated. You'll see that the players are in order, and those are the matching orders that they are listed below, and it will also be the order that they will be in on your tablet. This is a good place to write down that distinguishing feature about each of the players. This is only for your records and is unofficial, so don't worry about your spelling or penmanship. As the player strikes the ball, go ahead and mark a stroke in the box. You see here putting an X. We feel that if you mark the stroke when you see the stroke and not ahead of time, you won't get confused and have to remember, did I mark it already or was that for the other player? You'll do this as each of the player hits their tee ball through the last putt on the hole. Once they have putted out, you can write down their score for the hole. Once you have done that for each player, you will then put their scores into the tablet. You'll do this for each hole. Now this is what the tablet looks like. You will each receive a 7-inch Galaxy tablet, and they are cellular-based devices that will transmit the information from the tablet into our database on the internet. One thing you need to know about the tablet is they do not like to be wet. So if it's going to rain, make sure you keep the tablet in the plastic covering that you get them in. We ask that you keep the tablet in the covering unless you need to take it out to address some issue. You can go ahead and operate the on and off switch as well as the touch interface right through the plastic. The power switch is next to the white on-off label, and you can see the little yellow arrow pointing to it. And if you look closely, you can actually see the outline of that switch here on our device. Now, in order to unlock the screen, you can swipe your finger from the green button from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen. One thing to remember is not to press the power down too long. If you do, this screen will come up, and I promise these are not good options for you. So if this does come up, the best thing to do is either press the power button down gently and quickly this time, or just wait 3 to 5 seconds and it will go away. This is a bad screen and you don't want to have to do anything with this. Entering scores. This is what the interface is going to look like. And the important thing here is to remember to make sure that the names on the screen match the names on your group. And also make sure the starting hole is the correct hole for your group. So we made sure this is our first group, and in order to enter scores, you're going to tap down on the box with the arrow in the circle, and that will start the scoring process. It's going to bring up a little touch screen area where you can go ahead and touch on the little circles next to the numbers. On some of the tablets, there may be 3 numbers shown on the screen. So if you need to bring more scores up to be visible, just slide your finger up the screen, and it may take a couple scrolls to get to the correct number so that you can select the one that you need. You'll touch right on the number or the circle next to the number, and you'll see that it automatically populates in the box. You can see here that Jake got a 5, and then you can tap next, and it will automatically take you to the next player. So here we can go ahead and give Jason his 4. Now then you'll tap next again, and it's going to scroll down on the screen so that you can see Andrew, and go ahead and select his 4, which was a 5. And then once you have all 3 scores entered for the players, then you can tap Done. And if everything is correct, you can go ahead and tap Post Scores. And if they are not correct, you can tap the Reset button. When you tap the Post Scores button, it will ask you one last time if the scores are correct. If they are, select Confirm Scores and the correct scores for the players, and more importantly, the correct hole. One of the big things that happens to our scores at the conclusion of the hole, they forget to put the scores into the device. So then when they get to the next hole, they have the wrong hole and they put the wrong scores in. So make sure you're putting them in for the correct hole. If the scores are correct, tap Confirm Scores and the transmit process will begin. If they are not correct, you do have the ability to hit Reset, and you can go ahead and select the correct scores. Once the tablet is done transmitting the scores, it will automatically advance to the next hole. And at this point, you can go ahead and touch the power button quickly to turn the screen off. Once again, if you hold the on and off button too long, this screen will come up, and we know these options are not good options. So just go ahead and touch the on and off button quickly, and it will turn it off. There are some additional options that are available to you within this interface. but hopefully you shouldn't need to use any of them. But I do want to show you one thing. The 3 lines in the upper left corner is the menu option. If you go ahead and touch it, it will bring down the menu. You can tap any one of these that are revealed to you, but the one thing you probably will want to use is the leaderboard. The others may be something that you'll use if directed by us. Now, if you tap on something without being told to do so, it's going to ask you to enter a username. So just go ahead and hit cancel, and it will take you right back to where you were. Now, here's what the leaderboard looks like. If you go ahead and select that option, you can scroll through this by sliding your finger up and down the screen. It's just like dragging something on your computer desktop, and it's going to go ahead and go up and down for you. So be mindful that when you're looking at the leaderboard, it may take a minute or two to update. They are a few minutes behind, and these are only updated once every minute or so. To return to the scoring app, tap the menu or back button, which will get you back to your starting point. I do, however, not recommend that you use the leaderboard option very often. For some reason, it doesn't always allow you to get back to the scoring pages, and you will be stuck on the leaderboard until someone can get to you to reset the handheld. So try and resist that urge to select the leaderboard. One word of caution. There are some additional buttons on the bottom of the device, and these buttons can be a problem to you if you select them. You may end up somewhere you don't want to be. If you do have a problem, don't guess. Just go ahead and give me a call. We will do our best to get you back to where you need to be as quickly as possible. Lastly, I want to thank each of you for all of your time and effort in helping us conduct the scoring for the Spirit International. We really could not do it without the volunteers like you.